Now on Senator Dianne Feinstein tonight. She's been at home in San Francisco, sick for nearly 2 months and away from the U.S. Senate.
Well, after 2 congressmen asked her to resign, tonight she says she has a deal that will keep her in power, but give up some power. And here's KCAL News political reporter to tell us all about this deal.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on here, and some people might wonder, well, why does this matter? So abortion rights is a big part of this, and we'll explain why. So the Democrats are calling for Feinstein to step down, saying she is hurting President Biden. She's not at Senate Judiciary Committee meetings and cannot approve his nominees to become federal judges. Judges that could act as a counterbalance, they say, to the Texas judge appointed by former President Trump, who put a hold on the abortion pill. Senator Dianne Feinstein says she will temporarily give up her seat on the Senate Judiciary Committee after being absent from the Senate floor with health issues for almost 2 months. I understand that my absence could delay the important work of the Judiciary Committee, so I've asked Leader Schumer to allow another Democratic senator to temporarily serve until I'm able to resume my committee work. The move comes after 2 Democratic congressmen called on Feinstein to step down. One of them, Northern California Congressman Ro Khanna, who posted, "It's time for Senator Feinstein to resign. We need to put the country ahead of personal loyalty. While she has had a lifetime of public service, it is obvious she can no longer fulfill her duties." Congressman Khanna said his call for Feinstein's resignation was triggered in part because of last Friday's ruling by a Texas judge putting a hold on the FDA approval of the abortion pill mifepristone. The judge in that case was appointed by former President Trump. Without Feinstein present in the Senate, Republicans have been able to block President Biden's judicial nominees, who they believe could be a counterbalance to conservative judges.
The Democrats hold a slim majority in the Senate, so every vote is necessary. And of course, Senator Feinstein does have that important position in the Senate Judiciary as well.
Right, it's not just the Supreme Court. It's the Circuit Court, Courts of Appeals. These are tremendously consequential in the American political system, and the absence of a senator over a long period of time can make a big difference.
Feinstein was hospitalized for shingles in early March, but even before that, there have been concerns about her cognitive health. In February, she announced her retirement, but her term doesn't end until 2024. Former House Speaker and now San Francisco Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi supports Feinstein.
Deserves the respect to get well and be back on duty, and it's interesting to me. I've never seen them go after a man who was sick in the Senate in that way.
If Feinstein did step down, Governor Newsom would appoint someone to finish her term. But with 4 candidates vying to take her seat in 2024, Newsom may choose someone who has no intention of running to keep the seat in order to avoid meddling in the election.
A retired public servant, somebody like Senator Boxer, perhaps even stretching it a bit, Governor Brown. These would be plausible choices, but right now, everything depends on the decision that Senator Feinstein has to make.
We reached out to Governor Newsom's office. They are not commenting on calls for Feinstein to resign. Senator Feinstein said in a statement she would be working from home until her medical team clears her for travel. So right now, I guess we just kind of sit and wait to see how this all shakes out.
Well, I'm going to ask about the position that puts Governor Newsom in. A lot of people were talking about, well, he's done it before when Kamala Harris, became vice president. He appointed Alex Padilla. Okay, but
right.
he also, Alex Padilla was not running for that particular seat. So this puts a little different mix.
I think that's a really important point too, Pat, because we were talking earlier, we were seeing a lot of people online comparing the two. As you said, no one was running for Padilla's seat at the time that this was going on. This is now a pretty heated potential election, right? With 3 Democrats and now a Republican entering the race.
Yeah, they've already declared.
Exactly. That's right.
Okay, who knows?
Who knows?
He
We'll
said
see what
some
happens.
interesting names, right? Barbara Boxer, Jerry Brown. All right.
We've seen them before, right?
And best wishes to Senator Feinstein.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
we
Tom.
wish you the best. Thank you.
Tom, thank you. Now this, the Washington Post is reporting tonight that the man